And would you just for the beginning of our video be like, hey, I'm Dylan and I'm gonna be talking about oil?
Hey, I'm Dylan and I'm gonna be deep frying toilet paper.
So right now I just have one glue for this demo. This one was glue. It was fried when it was still wet, so it's a little squishy. You know, I'm still like working very experimentally and figuring out like what I like best. Or just like how different things react. But again, for this demo, I'm just gonna show glue. Now I'm just thought it'd be interesting to fry this whole roll of toilet paper. So I'm just saturating it. As far as using this, I mean, I guess wearing like safety glasses could be good if it pops. This would pop if there's like a lot of water, but in this case there's not that much water. Gloves for handling the hot stuff. I have a basket that I use. So you can just use this when your hands aren't anywhere near the oil. Just do your research, be smart. Yeah, we're nearly there. I want to get it to closer to 300. Look at that gorgeous oil.
All right, let's throw some of these samples in here. This is a dry toilet paper and wood glue in there. I'll do another one. This one's even drier. And this little bird we just made. So this is wet. The other samples are dry. And let's see what happens. So this is the part where we wait. This is a bit of a waiting game. This one, it was dunked several times for a minimum of like 7 minutes each time. I know I wanted it to look really dark. It's floating now. That could mean something. So it's been, what, like 3 minutes? Let's just give it a little update. You can see they're already getting, oops, a little more yellowy. So this is the ball. And here's the bird. Oops. The wood glue is, it's the most like, you know, batter-like. It looks the most like food. That's kind of why I like it. It's a good kind of mimic. So I'm gonna dunk this and let's throw in the whole roll of toilet paper. See, that's a good boil right there. That's a good fry. And those bubbles start coming out. Nothing like it. Oh, this is looking really good. So that's basically it.
I mean, we could keep going with this, you know, just to note generally, like, there's no right or wrong time. This is, what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes? And like any fried thing, the longer you go, the darker it'll get. The first time I did it was with like a sleeping bag that I just wanted to deep fry. I since learned about other artists that do it too in different ways, like the flowers. But I've been like using fire and heat and melting plastic and resin and just using like fire as a way to like create texture on a surface or to like just manipulate or warp the whole material, or the object I'm working with, just as a transformative tool. So I began kind of looking at oil after the sleeping bag project as a way to do that as well. The sleeping bag was done with just flour. It was just pattern. Now I'm working with glues as a replacement for the batter. So this is the casting for a mold. It's paper pulp made from a bunch of toilet paper that I found. And I matted it over like it's like a plastic like waste oil tank from a car. But yeah, it had this like, this is half of it. The tank itself extends down to here. And this was sort of a failed experiment and that half of it fell apart. But then I noticed it had this like kind of figurative shape to it. The oil that I use, it's constantly being like reused. the same oil that I used day one. You know, there's more oil being added a little bit. There's some that gets lost in the process. But you know, people cooking, they keep their oil for a long time, and all that flavor and us, like, you know, residual materials gets left behind in it, and that's just another thing that deeply interests me. Is like when dunking something in oil, you're also sort of infusing it with things to past that is left behind there as well. So it's just this like accumulative process that's kind of fascinating.